Starfleet Underground. Every week, we'll take a look at the latest Star Trek news and then check out a current or classic episode of Star Trek.
Everyone has coffee. Jankom gets on the table. Dal doesn't use the half-baked plan. The Protostar gets returned. The Diviner kills the power. Hologram Janeway goes goth. And where did Murf go? Our special guest this week is an Emergency Proctologist Medical Hologram.
Do you know if he's finished yet? I mean, what the hell? I understand that it was an emergency, but do we have a connection for him? Okay, cool. Thanks, Doc. Hey, good day, and thank you for joining another exciting episode of Starfleet Underground. We're really going to talk about the show on Prodigy. If you haven't seen it, yeah, that was definitely worthy. It was really good. My name, of course, is Captain Adams. I'm here on our wonderful vessel. We have our full crew complement, but one of them is on an away mission. Apparently, Starfleet has a EMH that they needed help programming and getting ready. So they wanted to borrow my number one. So he's there now. And from what I understand, Chief has managed to hook up a connection. So we'll be able to see if this is going to work really well. We also have my wonderful science officer.
Hi, I'm Heather Ferris. I'm a science officer. And Captain, have you noticed the Tribbles going down the hall dressed up all goth and everything? I think they saw this week's episode.
Yeah, I did notice that. And it's really frightening to see a Tribble trying to put eyeliner on where they don't have eyeliner.
Yeah. They don't have eyes.
They don't have eyes.
Hands.
You know, it's really
something else, man.
I'm liking the mohawks, especially the rainbow-colored mohawks. They're my favorite.
It looks like a pimple with hair down the center. It's kind of nasty looking a little bit. But hey, that's how they are. And they're doing hang banging in the galley. So there's that. We also have on, we're going to announce the EMH because I understand from Chief we have a connection with our EMH as well. So we'll get to that person in a moment. We have our computer guy. How's it out there where you are?
Hey, I'm Patrick. I'm number one. I'm the computer guy, and I am on location in Portland of US of A.
How is it down there?
It's cold. It's 33 degrees Fahrenheit.
You didn't take any of your winter gear for away missions?
No, I figured it's North America. It'll be warm. I'm, got on Daisy Dukes and a tank top.
Oh, okay. We'll see if we can put that up on Patreon. If you're interested in seeing Patrick and Daisy Dukes in a tank top, make sure you join us. We have a great engineer here, Chief.
Hello. Hi, everybody. I'm Rocky, and I'm the engineer of the show and the ship. And I've got a shout out today to Starbase80 on Twitter, who makes me laugh once in a while with the fictitious events happening.
Damn, Starbase80?
That's pretty cool.
And also, I've got another one, Orange River on YouTube, who I believe we've had before on the show, at least once before, had an amazing video on the transporters and whether or not they kill you when you use them.
Yes.
And
Orange River is better than a brown river.
Totally. I love just using the color orange because it reminds me of Orange Sunkissed or whatever. It's there's a taste that comes to mind when I hear orange. But there you go.
Yeah.
But his theory is that the transporters do not kill you, and he's got a lot of science to talk about. It's quite involved. It's actually made my head spin a teeny bit, and I'm supposed to be the engineer, so that's something else.
Are you going to put the link in the show notes?
Yeah, we'll drop it in the show notes so you guys can go click it.
You beat me to the punch there, Heather. Outstanding.
Heather, you're not supposed to be beating your captain.
The orange punch.
Oh, speaking of Twitter, I heard, speaking of news, that one of our Twitter posts with a captain's hand in the picture got a lot of likes and retweets.
There's a potato that the captain has made the acquaintance of that looks
Our Murf potato.
So much like Murf. The resemblance is something else.
It really did. It might have been Murf and he ate something bad, but I'm not quite sure. But
it might have been what happens when it comes out of Murf when it's done.
Oh.
That's nice.
After he digested the Protostar, that's what happened.
I thought a potato ate him.
We're going to test this right now. So you're right there, Patrick. You ready for the test?
Yep.
Okay. Computer, activate EMH Mikey, please. Mikey? Did it work?
What's the nature of the medical emergency?
It worked. Hey, Patrick, you did it. Nice. Okay, cool. Is he really wearing Daisy Dukes and don't drop anything in front of him?
He is, but I specialize in proctology, so it makes it much more easy to do my job.
Oh, I like that. You did a great job on this
EMH that specializes in proctology. How many emergency proctology events do you need in the starship?
Well, Heather could have used them on the last away mission.
Yeah, I was just about to say that.
Well, I can tell you he arrived just in time because he may be your number one, but he looks like number two.
That's funny. Well, I know you didn't program him with your humor, Patrick, because this is so much better.
Oh.
Outstanding. Well, welcome aboard.
Thank you.
It's nice to hear you virtually, and maybe Patrick can copy your code and bring you up to the ship from time to time.
Yeah, that would be nice.
That would be pretty awesome. Okay. Are you finished downloading all your information? Because we're going to get back to you in a second.
Yes, but I should correct you there. I actually identify as an emergency medical homogram. So.
Oh, yeah, Patrick programmed it. Nice. I love that. Oh, my God.
He's all the colors of a rainbow.
Oh,
that's right.
Patrick, you're sounding garbled. I don't know.
It sounds really bad, Patrick.
Yeah,
it sounds
get
like
away from the hollow matrix emitter and try it again.
Are you in another room, Patrick?
Yeah, I'm in another room.
Okay, now you sound good. It was distorting before for some reason, but now it's clear.
Yeah, just because he's emergency medical homo emitter. Was that right?
That's good.
Homogram.
Don't mean you have to mount the hologram. So
That's
just
right.
be careful with
Oh
that.
my.
Yeah,
Okay.
Sorry about that. I think I still had a finger up there. So.
No wonder he's staticked out. Okay, wait. I got to wipe the tears from my eyes. Oh, that was funny. Okay, first off, this show is being brought to you by Section 31, as well as our Patreon people. So thank you so much. And if you're under the age of 18 and you snuck and listened to the first part of this, you got lucky. The rest of it, turn this off, get out of the room, bookmark it, save it for on your 18th birthday so you get something to look forward to, because we are not for you. Now, we're going to say this as gently and kindly as possible. Get the fuck out.
Get out. No kids.
Because we will know that you're there and that you're listening, and we'll send the EMH over to and insert something in your nose while you're asleep. And I'm sure you're not going to want to know what there is. That too. So whatever opening is available above the blankets.
We do have the emergency medical proctologist. So
yeah, but he'll do that on your 18th birthday, because anything before 18 would be a crime. So,
well, not if we get consent.
Yes. So
it's a medical procedure.
There we go.
It's a good thing only 18-year-olds and older are listening to this show then.
Okay.
Hopefully.
Mikey.
Sir.
Outstanding. Give us a little background on your programming. Let's see what Patrick put in. Because I know you guys come with history and everything, so you're fully evolved and fleshed out.
Yeah. So Patrick and I came across each other, so to speak, in a gay Trekkies group.
That's a good background. I like that.
About how many years ago was that, Patrick?
I don't know, because then we actually, did we meet at the Trek convention first, or did we meet in the group?
The first time, yeah, that was at the Trek convention. But I think we met online through the Trekkies group probably around 2012, I think.
Could be.
Yeah.
Could be, yeah. It's been a while.
Yeah, it has been. And we, one time when he came to visit, we had somebody tell us that we looked like brothers.
Aw. Two handsome men about town.
Better than me and Nathan. Like, I'm thinking everyone thinking we're together.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he insulted me, looked me up and down, and says, please, like I would go out with him. So thank you very much for that ego boost.
No, I said I could do better.
Looking at my notes here from Chief, it looks like one of the elements that Patrick had programmed that the random generator came up with is that you enjoy Janeway.
I do. She is my captain.
Very cool. Good choice.
Yeah.
Outstanding.
And they both like coffee. Surprise, surprise.
Like literally say hi to her.
I will. I will.
Oh, that's right.
Put in a good word.
Yeah.
That's right.
She has an appointment scheduled later. So
with you?
Oh, she's getting an anal exam, huh?
She needs an exam?
It's an emergency.
Oh man, I wonder what that week's episode looked like then.
Seriously, while she's drinking coffee. Okay, hey, number one.
There's a finger in that darn nebula.
Coffee and stirrups. Yeah.
Hey, number one, you got any corrections from last week?
Let me check. Dun, 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 dun. Nope, I don't see nothing. Looks like we're all good.
Outstanding. Another flawless episode. Now, Heather.
Aye, Captain.
Do you have any news?
Yes, I do.
Oh, what do you got for us?
So, the Washington Times reported that the DNA of Star Trek creator Gene Roddenberry will accompany the ashes of his wife and the actor who played Scotty up in space on their first flight later this year. Now, this first flight is for a Houston-based space memorial services company called Celestis. And we already know that James Doohan has had his ashes put up into space, as well as Gene Roddenberry's ashes, which were scattered in space in 1997. But Majel Roddenberry, who died in 2008, this will be her first time having her DNA or ashes put up into space. So all three will be going together.
Can you imagine if aliens came to Earth and they found that DNA and they made them into golems, and then they come down and all three of them are like, we need to see your leader? How people would freak out.
Whoa, that would be a trip, man.
That would be...
At least it's their ashes and not splooge.
Yeah, no, so that was going to be my question, because you said DNA, and then you said ashes. Is it the ashes, or is it... Because who took their DNA samples after they passed?
They say ashes of James Doohan and ashes of Majel. When they talk about Gene Roddenberry, they say his DNA.
You know
what? That probably fits.
That probably does fit.
Yeah, because once you're cremated, your DNA is no longer viable.
You know what probably happened? It's like, oh, we got to do a deep clean. Wait, whose crusty underwear this is? Oh, it's Dad's. Oh, maybe we can scrape some DNA off of it.
I've always said the worst job on the Enterprise was probably the jizz mopper on the holodeck after Riker was in there.
Oh, we put biofilters in now, and that's Patrick's punishment when it doesn't work right.
Yeah, Patrick.
Having to clean up the biofilters is gross.
For a while.
Hold on. Wait, did you tape? How the hell did you get a starfish on your back, Dot? Why is there a starfish on your... What do you mean it's not a starfish?
At least it's not the starfish between his legs.
That is no. Just because you put a starfish on the back doesn't mean you have an ass and you want to be examined. No. No, just
something else.
Just leave the room. You cannot get the EMH here to do... No, I don't care if it does look like a butthole. Get out of here. Sorry about that. Okay. Patrick, what do you got for us? News.
Well, Doug Jones is going to be honored with the Inaugural Makeup and Hairstylist Guild Chair Award for all his amazing work over the last couple of decades, from
oh my God,
Billy Butcher to Abe Sapien to Saru. So he's being given the award. So that's pretty freaking cool. Doug's an amazing guy.
I didn't think you were going to be finished so quick. I was actually eating this toast that Heather sent over.
You know better than to eat stuff that Heather makes.
I know, but it's figured it's toasted. It can't be. Wait.
It doesn't look like black, right? So it's probably okay.
No, what's this hard, crunchy stuff in it?
Captain, I wouldn't eat that. That's not toast. That's a science experiment that I would really not be eating right now.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
After I cursed him out about the starfish, came back and brought this back to me and said it was toast.
Well, thank God we have the emergency medical proctologram so that he can fix you up, Captain.
Oh my!
Normally, as an EMH, I'd be concerned if you smelled toast, but if you're actually eating toast, then it's probably fine.
Yeah, I thought it was.
It's not toast.
What the hell is it?
It's not. I get. Do I really have to say?
No.
Oh, thank God.
Leave him in suspense.
I just wouldn't eat it.
My big toe just swelled up and something like milk shot out.
Oh, shit.
DNA.
Are you providing DNA to be launched into space later?
Did my toe just come? What the hell?
Toe jam,
okay,
baby, toe jam.
It's nasty. Damn. Okay, that threw me off my game. I'm not used to seeing my toe wiggle and stuff like that.
Captain, I think you need to head to the EMH as soon as we're done with the podcast.
Yeah, I do believe so, because the other toe is beginning to do it. Okay, Chief, what do you got for news-wise?
I'm trying to think of a good pun for toes, but I'm not even going to try. Well, there's a little snippet out there from Star Trek Picard No Man's Land. Now, this is the audiobook adventure, audio drama is what they call it.
I thought you were talking about the Captain's wiener.
No. No Man's Land is the audio drama with Seven of Nine and Rafi. And it takes place between season 1 and season 2 of Star Trek Picard.
and there's a snippet out you can hear now. You can go and listen to it. I did it through trekmovie.com. They've got a link. I'll put the link in the show notes if you want to go grab it. But it's
are they all getting lovey-dovey?
It's it didn't sound like a sex scene. It sounded like something else going on, but it did sound pretty cool. And they had all the sound effects, lots of sound effects. So it's not just two people reading.
Nice.
It's their full on acting with sound effects and everything. It's really cool. There is a full cast of all new characters, including a Romulan warlord named Rhinan, a Fenris Ranger, some exotic alien species, and more. I don't know what the and more is, but I mean, they've already got me intrigued already with just Seven and Rafi in it. So this is cool. The voice cast also includes Fred Tatasciore, if I said that correctly, Shax from Star Trek Lower Decks. You may recognize his voice.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
And John Cassier from HBO's Tales of the Crypt.
Keeper.
It's the Crypt Keeper, yes.
Yeah.
Also, John Cutmore Scott, who is a feature character on the ABC series Deception. So they've got full-on casting on this thing. This sounds like it's going to be very entertaining and definitely give you something to listen to between season 1 and season 2 of Star Trek Picard.
I love audiobooks, especially when they're done right with high production value. So thank you for that.
Yeah, it'll be released on February 22nd. You can pre-order it now on Amazon Audible.
Cool.
Outstanding.
And also, I have one other little news story. Discovery and Lower Decks were both nominated for Golden Reel Awards. This is the motion picture sound effects editors. They have nominees for the 69th annual Motion Pictures Sound Editors Golden Reel Awards, which is the most talented sound artists and their contributions within the last year. So Discovery picked up 3 nominations for the episode Kobayashi Maru. And so one was the Outstanding Achievement in Sound Editing with dialogue and ADR. And in that category, they're up against For All Mankind, The Handmaid's Tale, The Morning Show, The Nevers, Squid Game.
I thought that was a new show.
Succession, and Ted Lasso. While Heather starts Googling for another Netflix show to watch. They also nominated for effects and Foley work. In that category, they're up against Foundation, The Handmaid's Tale, Lost in Space, Squid Game, Ted Lasso, The Witcher, and Wu-Tang, An American Saga. Their third nomination was for music. In that category, they're up against Cobra Kai, Squid Game, Ted Lasso, The Witcher, and Wu-Tang. So that's really cool. So they've got some impressive competition to be awarded with. So this is really neat. And Lower Decks was nominated for Strange Energies. And that was the Outstanding Achievement in Sound Editing for Animation Series or Short. They're up against Jurassic World, Camp Cretaceous, Love, Death, and Robots, Star Wars Visions, Star Wars The Bad Batch, and Star Wars A Galaxy of Sounds.
That is going to be a heavy competition because all those shows are good.
And how appropriate that it's the 69th Annual Awards when we've got a Proctology EMH on board.
I mean, you might as well, throw it in if it's the 69th anyway. So I'm all for this because I'm a sound guy, working the podcast. So this is really cool to see these big shows up against each other. And Discovery's right up there with them as well as Lower Decks.
I thought you were talking about you were all for the proctology exam.
I'm all for that too, but I got to put proper microphone placement.
Okay, well, you need to catch that so we can add it as a sound clip when it happens. And I'm assuming you get your downloader there done, Mikey. So do you have any news for us?
Yeah, we've got news out of IGN from a few days ago that Playmates has reacquired the license for Star Trek for the first time in 12 years. And so they are releasing new figures and new toys. So they'll have 3 figures from Next Generation. They're going to have Riker, Picard, and Data. And they're having 3 figures from Wrath of Khan. They will have Kirk, Spock, and Khan. And then they have 2 from Discovery. They will have Commander Michael Burnham and Saru.
Oh, my toe just came again.
Or Science Officer Michael Burnham. They're also releasing an 18-inch replica of the original Enterprise from the original series.
Ooh, 18 inches.
And with lights, sounds, and phrases, and an original series phaser with lights and sounds.
Oh, those things are going to go like crazy.
Shopping list. Where are you at?
I think I need the dogs to come to my room. I might have come.
And they released this after Christmas, not, before Christmas?
Right, yeah. But it's going to be sometime later this year, so maybe it'll be in time for next Christmas.
Okay.
Yeah.
I believe this summertime they'll be releasing some of these.
I'm excited. I already know what I'm going to go out there and try to hunt down and do. So that's amazing. My news, I don't know if any of the crew does play this, but I do from time to time. Star Trek Online is a really good show, and they try to follow the canon a lot. and they do a good job. And there's a lot of actors on there that have unfortunately have passed away, but they did voiceover. So it's kind of nice to revisit them. There's another person that just been added to their roster. Kate Mulgrew is going to be on the Star Trek Online now as Captain Janeway. And also a little twist, because I know our EMH is all into this, so I know the EMH will probably insert himself into that world. Mara Janeway is going to be in the latest update, Shadows Advanced. So if you love Kate Mulgrew and love Captain Janeway, you got to log on and play. Now, mind you, this is a free to play game. You don't have to pay money. There's no bugging for subscription. Now, from time to time, they will have stuff that you would love to buy. So, of course, you might do that, but it's not necessary to play the game. There's nothing that you hit a paywall and you're like, oh my God, I really need the money to do. No,
this is totally free.
It's free. Very
free.
Sir,
I had no idea it was free.
No, it's free.
It's just like Nathan, he's free.
However, that being said, I'm going to really get. Is there a way while you're giving Patrick his exam that you can like make your finger Hulk size while you're in there?
I can do that. Yes.
He might like work. That though.
Well, that's true. That is true.
I admit nothing.
Okay. The game, they have a product there called Zen. And now if you really want, like if they have a really cool starship and you like the way it looks, then it's possible you may have to get money for it or buy it if you want. However, they do have a exchange in the game where if you're doing your missions, you come across a rare item, you can put it up in the exchange and get money that way, and people will buy it for in-game currency. So I've known people who played the game for years and never even put in a dime and made their money and everything else in the game to do it. So it's really kind of cool. I played it like thousands of hours, and it's a really good because you can go in and out quite easily. So you're not set like WoW where you have to have time for a raid and stuff.
Just like a proctology exam.
Oh man, you're really testing out that EMH, aren't you? Okay, and the EMH chuckled, so we know that's true. Okay, that's it for our news articles. So thank you for that, everybody. We're going to wind up going into the show. So that means it's you this time, isn't it, Heather?
Hi, Captain. I was waiting to see if you'd remember which one it was.
Yeah, after that toast.
I was waiting to see if you'd remember which one it was, Heather.
I should have asked you first thing coming on this morning. I should have asked you, Patrick, did you do the summary? Being like, what?
No,
okay.
I remember totally.
So this week's episode, we are doing Star Trek Prodigy, Season 1, Episode 9, A Moral Star, Part 1. It first aired January 27th, 2022. Act 1, Homeward Bound. Rock is finishing up her story of what happened to her in the last episode when Dal accidentally decapitates Dreadnought's 3D printed head, activating a video voicemail. Gwyn's dad, the diviner, threatens the kids to come home or he will punish the other children who are left on his mining colony. Gwyn has the healthy response of shooting the messenger. The team huddles together to discuss their options as Janeway eavesdrops. Nobody wants to go back, but they can't let the other kids get hurt. Jankom, the team cheerleader, rallies everyone together towards saving the kids, but Dal walks out of the room, unsure of what the right decision is. This is a no-win situation. This is their Kobayashi Maru. They're going to need a plan and not one of Dal's half-baked ideas. The team gets together and goes to work, planning and tweaking the ship as Gwyn, Janeway, and Rock all share a cup of coffee. Janeway gives the crew a gift of new uniforms. Yay! As we hear faint groans from all of our penniless cosplayers out there. Janeway finishes the montage with an inspiring speech of how proud she is of them. It is time to head home.
Yeah, I'm like, they got another freaking uniform. I'm like, oh my God, how much more money do I have to spend?
Apparently a lot.
That was the, you remember that Star Wars show where you felt a great disturbance in the Force? That was all the cosplayers on Twitter going, what?
Another one.
Those are some freaking pretty good uniforms, man. Those were some pretty spiffy uniforms.
Oh, they're spiffy.
I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but the directors and the people in charge, producers, they're planning on releasing a new uniform every show. Yeah, we're going to be seeing this a lot.
They're very, very fashion conscious.
I have to replicate Patrick a new uniform all the time. You don't want to run that thing under a black light. I'm telling you.
Oh, wow.
It's a Pollock painting.
I got a kick out of the diviner just sending a voicemail. Just like,
right?
Yes, you better return my ship or else I'm going to punish the miners. Come back to me, please. And then he hangs up.
His daughter wasn't picking up the phone.
Can you picture that? Leaving? What if they don't check their voicemail in time? Like, oh, I forgot to check my voicemail. I totally it took like a day and a half to check it. Now they're all gone.
He was like Martha Quinn, one of the original MTV VJs, leaving a video message.
Dude, the diviner would never hurt the kids. Never hurt the kids because they're his labor. He needs them to labor the crystals that are so freaking expensive. He wouldn't hurt the labor.
Yes, he
would. No, he wouldn't, because if she's not coming back, if she's not talking to him, he hurts the labor. He's only hurting himself. He's not going to do anything to the kids.
Actually, he does, and that's next section.
And then, unfortunately, what happened is that he knew she read the message because you didn't see the little light flash on his console, and it goes, "Your message has been read."
But in the next section, though, he does say, she did come. Like there was some kind of doubt, like she wouldn't come.
Like Nathan's toe.
Oh my God! Yeah, and I've heard our chief say that if he has company in his room, and he's like, she did come. So
Jeez.
which is always
it's always a great achievement.
Yes, it is.
but it's usually when he says that there's usually a dot in the room.
Yeah, unfortunately,
if you have to use accessories, that's okay.
Unfortunately, Heather.
It's only the dot in the room.
No, with Heather, unfortunately, she screams warp core breach. So
I just figured no one would know that I was coming if I screamed something that would be a normal thing people would hear, people screaming on a starship.
By screaming warp core breach.
Yeah, you don't want to hear someone yelling warp core breach on a starship, honey.
Yeah,
but it's not warp core breach. It's like warp core breach. Like it's not,
That's even more disturbing.
Okay, so moving on. The name of the episode is A Moral Star. Did you guys know that this is an anagram for Tars Lamora, which is the colony where the miners are located at?
No, I did not notice that.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
That's a good catch.
I noticed somebody point that out on Twitter. I'm like, oh, wow, the sneaky bastards.
Yeah.
You know, those people in the writers' room all sitting down there smoking a doobie and figuring out how can they put little Easter eggs and see who catches it. So that's pretty cool.
I wonder if the writers' room has a table like they do, and then somebody jumps up on top of the table and declares what they're going to do.
Aha! I've got it.
Like Jankom.
Because just Jankom just doing that is like, you can't miss that. That's amazing.
I know, that's funny. I mean, all those characters in their own way of becoming my favorites, they all have little personality things that I'm really enjoying.
Yeah.
The fact that it also answered the question from last week's episode with what's going to happen with another one being 3D printed. Well, we found the answer to that. So it wasn't able to fully reconstruct. So somebody had the brain on the ship. So that was good.
I was really enjoying Janeway telling them that, there's nothing more Starfleet than what you guys are about to do. That just was like, it gave me little goosies.
Yeah. What I like is that finally Dal is beginning to act like a captain's supposed to act.
I like the scene between him and Gwyn. That was really cool.
It was.
She actually came out and said it. Are you scared or just selfish? I mean, she I
like that.
To realize that the kid's been brought up by Ferengi completely changes the way we view him, because we all think he's really a dickhead, an asshole, and and he is, because he was raised by a Ferengi, but now we know why. But now he literally said, hey, I can't risk losing us. It was just like, and then for a second he's like, he means all of us, and Gwyn's like, oh yeah, okay, sure.
But you saw the smile on her face. She's got that the knowing smile that a lot of women have when they know it's like, yeah, I got you. Catch you.
When the scoundrel actually says something, worth saying, that was really cool. I mean, yeah, she had that look.
Yeah.
The EMH gets that look when he's got his finger up in you.
Oh,
oh my.
Talk about a no-win scenario.
All right, so that's I understand. So when you're like bent over and the EMH is like when you're supposed to put his hands on your waist to be able to guide it, and you go, wait a minute, you have both your hands on my waist. What's probing? Nothing. Just relax.
It's his Kobayashi Maru right there.
Just let it happen.
I like, though, that he realized that his half-baked plan was not going to cut it. They needed to fully bake the plan.
But he's maturing.
That was the one that made me, that's the one part that I says, oh, Dal is finally maturing. He understands that he can't just run off half-cocked. Patrick can, but he can't do that.
Well, so, I liked Gwyn's response too. We're in cat boots now. Let's go plan together.
Oh, that was funny.
That was so cute.
I was explaining that to Michael last night. I'm like, they're in cat boots now.
It's so cool.
That really was. I mean, it was a good episode, and of the good first section, it was really exciting on that first act.
And funny, too.
Yeah, it was.
Dal, when he says, I guess we can never let our guard down. And then the Tin Man's head falls off and Rock screams, we let our guard down.
Yeah, whoops.
That was funny.
It's some good writing.
I wanted to say, we'll take you to the wizard. He'll fix you.
The montage sequence where they're putting everything together, they had a couple of funny things in there. They had bigger snacks. I'm like, whoa, yeah, cool. And of course, the coffee moment was just legendary.
That was cool. Did you see the size of Rock Talk's mug?
Well,
it was huge.
Yeah, bigger mass, bigger mug.
Yeah. That was almost the same size as mine. I couldn't believe that. They think it was huge. So that was pretty cool.
A delusional captain again.
No. The last EMH we had also said that during my physical. Wow, that thing is huge. So
no,
I got your asshole.
I purposely make his coffee mugs huge, so when I give him the time crystals, he has enough to fit in. Like I want him to drink a large dose.
Oh, thank God I didn't get my coffee from you this morning, because last week's I was in it. It made me sound echoey and everything. So it was not happy times. Hey, Chief, what'd you think of this section?
I loved it. I liked that Dal's getting his stuff together, and he's brought the crew together, and the crew's together for him. They're supporting him. I got positive vibes on all this. I'm ready to go.
And I think EMH, since you technically was born just yesterday, or earlier in the week, what did you think of this episode? Because I think you kind of jumped in, or did Patrick give you the history?
No, I kind of jumped in but I found it kind of, it seemed pretty easy to follow, actually. I think they did a good job with that. And it's always important with any new show is if they establish the characters right away, which, it's always hard sometimes with first seasons. First seasons can always be kind of rough, especially with, Trek series. But I feel like they've got a pretty good handle just from the one episode I saw on who the characters are.
That's amazing, because we're 9 episodes into the show and he's just coming into it. That's really cool. So you're able to follow along and everything. That's good writing right there.
Well, he's an EMH. He's smart.
Yeah. Speaking of things I was just coming into, what did you think, Patrick?
Nice segue.
Well, let me pull my head out of my ass first.
And it fits.
Like I said, the Janeway speech about what they were doing was the most Starfleet thing of all. Was to be going to rescue someone else, to be there for somebody else. I mean, that was just really. Like I said, I got goosebumps.
It really was an exciting first part and got me going because of the fact that Dal is finally acting like an adult and he's being the captain that I guess he was destined to be. So that was pretty cool. Heather, I guess we can go to the next section.
Hi, Captain. Act 2. Gwyn, I am your father. Honey, we're home. And right away, the fact that Gwyn is wearing a Starfleet uniform pisses off her father. The terms have changed. The Diviner wants both Gwyn and the Protostar. Gwyn agrees, but her dad has to free the miners and give our crew a ship to leave on. The Diviner agrees to these terms, and the miners are set free. Gwyn joins the dark side, and her comm badge is crushed in the process. The Diviner, Gwyn, and Dreadnought board the Protostar and leave the mining colony.
When he did that, I thought to myself, what a greedy motherfucker. You got the ship and now you want to snatch her away, knowing that she didn't really want to be around you anyway. And then it's just the whole lies you put up. And then I was thinking, to myself, and we'll find out on the next section. It's like, there's no way this bastard's going to let them alone.
Yeah.
Because he's a person of non-honor. There's no way, So I thought that was pretty evil. Was it this section that he does the switch on Janeway or no?
No, that's next section.
Okay,
and same
good.
with attacking the...
I didn't mention that. I just thought to myself, so it
that's
hasn't
next
happened.
section as well.
Yeah. But I was thinking to myself that wasn't going to happen.
I just like that he's all, you're not going to wear that, are you?
Yeah.
Like a father, right?
You're not
like
wearing that. That's way too commitment to strive to be for a better future kind of thing. You don't want to wear that.
No, Patrick does that all the time.
Go ahead and change, little girl. You're not leaving this house with that on.
No, and then he has to say with that disgusting thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the comm badge isn't this disgusting.
She wasn't wearing you. I mean, so I don't know what.
Oh, hush.
Oh,
you know, and the comm badge is like, it looked really, drop dead sexy. It was a nice little comm badge. Again, a new item for us to try to cosplay. So thank you very much. You're going to make people work their 3D printers out in order to get that comm badge, because it's not the same comm badge as we saw in any other show.
But just be careful what frequency you got it on. You may end up getting a replica of Dreadnought.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, whoops.
All our passwords is locked down. So if a 3D printer goes on, you just got to be careful. If it starts without you putting a program in it, you may have a Dreadnought.
Fortunately, today's 3D printers are not very fast. So you can be like, wait a minute, that's not what I was printing. It looks like a head. Quick, unplug it.
Attack to commence in 96 hours. Out of filament, please replace.
Yeah. Oh, let me get with the more filament in. Okay.
Oh my God, that's hysterical. But they all are on the planet, and he smashes the comm badge, and he's like, yeah, we're going to get out of here. And you see all the people, and it's like, oh man, it's almost like the episode of Voyager when the Kazon left them all on the planet. And you figure, how the fuck are they going to get out of here with no starship, with a bunch of people throwing rocks at them?
But I could tell they had a plan. They had a plan in place. And throughout the ending of this act, I'm like, wait, where's Murf? Where's Murf? Where the fuck is Murf? Where did Murf go? They were doing so with Murf. Murf is missing. What's going to happen?
Oh, we knew surprise Murf will wind up being the ninja.
Ninja
stealth
Murf.
ninja.
He's going to use his Mokta stealth techniques.
And I know that this is totally next section, but Gwyn needs to win an Academy Award for Best Actress.
Oh man, she was making me tear up a little. I mean, and then she gave Dal a hug and everything.
Yeah.
I mean, that was such a big little moment right there. They were totally. I mean, Jankom's acting was okay, but I think he had a little bit bigger ego. He thought he was like the shit or whatever. But I mean, they were all putting on a good show.
Yeah,
that's what happens after you get the proctology exam.
You're standing too close to the EMH emitter again because you're staticky. And once you get done with your exam, you don't need another one right away.
Sorry, that was me. Let me get out of here.
So when Patrick says come in, he really means come in. Oh my God. I'm crying again. Help me.
They had the Caitian. Half of all Twitter, I mean, I see you out there on Twitter saying, save the Caitian. We're going to save the cat. Yes.
Yeah.
I love that the Caitian had a viewpoint from above. That's such a thing cats do. They have a viewpoint way up top where they can oversee everything.
I have to give credit to the animators because when we first saw the Caitian, it looked like a kitty. It really did. But this time they managed to illustrate it, and it had the 1,000-mile stare of somebody who's seen and done hard work. And I really got the sense of how heavy.
Not something you would know anything about.
I'm going to send a private message to your EMH. You're going to get something with Bob Wire on your next exam. So I really enjoyed how well the show is illustrated. I know we talk about the storyline. We talk about the voice acting, which is all phenomenal. But the illustration is just, I'm loving how they do it.
They're doing a great job all around. Everything. This is just a really well done show.
It really is. And thanks for mentioning, who mentioned Murf? Just a little
that was me.
Rocky.
Yeah, where's Murf?
I didn't even occur to me that Murf was missing until you said that. So, yeah, that means he's on the ship somewhere.
Watching it for like the second or third time, you're actually seeing Jankom hold up like Zero, like by the arms the entire time, like a puppet.
The acting is something else. I mean, that was great.
It is so funny.
Oh, that's why he did that, so they don't realize that he was that's really friggin' cool.
They did an amazing switcheroo. They had a great plan, and it was definitely not half-baked. They fully baked the sucker.
It was really cool. And for those of you earlier when I said the Mokta stealth ritual, if you're a fan of Galaxy Quest, that was one of the lines they used in that movie. But
Oh, Patrick, your connection's crazy, dude. You got to refresh it.
Stop getting the EMH in there all the time.
We can't hear anything.
It could be interference from the planet's atmosphere too.
Yeah, you got it's doing the buzzy thing.
You know what?
It's really bad.
He is on planet Portland. There's a lot of smoke, kind of hazing over the city. So
you see if he can connect to Starfleet's internal Wi-Fi on his phone, and maybe that will clear up the signal. Where were we? Murf. Yeah. Mokta's stealth technique. Galaxy Quest. Yeah, that was in that movie.
I don't need a Murf. I'm getting a proctology exam. I don't need anything else crawling up my butt.
Oh my God.
Make sure he removes all the dust and cobwebs up there, okay?
And any toys that might have been lost up there.
Yeah. Because honestly, I didn't want to tell you, I get tired every time you break wind and I see dust clouds. So go near it and clear it up.
I had to start a lost and found box for everything I found up there.
I believe it.
Well, it's better than yours. That the smell that comes out of you is just like enough to peel the paint off the walls.
Oh, please. Mine smells like Palo Santo and peat moss.
Should we move on so we stop talking about smells? Because
who is Pete Moss?
Oh, that was funny. Oh my God. I don't know how you programmed them to have better humor than you, Pat, but you sure did.
Isn't he in Fallout Boy?
Oh my God. With you, it's a Fallen Boy. Okay, but don't let's get started. All right. So are we done with this section or what?
We're done with you, that's for sure.
Oh, okay. So moving on to Act 3, Fucking Cliffhanger. The diviner boards the ship and claims the captain's chair. Janeway takes offense, so Dreadnought rewrites her code, turning her into a goth chick. As they fly away, the diviner destroys the generators, almost killing our beloved crew and leaving them with no power. The Protostar gets away, but they can't go anywhere until Dreadnought recharges the Protostar. Perfect time for Gwyn and her dad to play 20 questions for family game night. They bond, which includes the Vought-Not mind meld, and the diviner learns that Gwyn is stalling for time. He demands the Protostar be engaged, but the engine stalls because there is no Protostar. It's gone. Back on the mining colony, the crew regroups and double checks on Murf in his Zero cosplay, just making sure he didn't melt after eating the Protostar core. Speaking of Zero and melting faces, hoot hoot, the team gets into gear executing their rescue plan. Jankom gets the ship ready while everyone else rounds up the miners. Fingers crossed that Gwyn can distract the diviner long enough for their crazy plan to work. To be continued.
Okay, first off, I was the first time since I think the two-parter in Voyager where I was excited about the show and pissed off at the same time because they ended the show abruptly. It's not even a warning, not a slowdown, no nothing.
Cut. Here's credits.
It's just really abrupt, yeah.
It is like it's like you get slapped in the face with a cold, cummy towel. So it's like, oh my God, what the hell was that? So yeah, it was pretty wild.
But the EMH found the Protostar in your black hole.
Hey, because my black hole is accepting of nothing.
It made me feel like what they did was made a movie and then just cut the movie in half and said, here's part 1 and here's part 2.
Oh, yeah, that's perfectly put. It's like you're watching a movie and then all of a sudden the film breaks.
I was wondering how they're going to do this because Lower Decks does this pretty good. There's not too many two-parters in Lower Decks. They fit it all, a whole lot of show in the 30-minute time slot. With Prodigy, however, it's a fantastic show, but some of these stories do not fit within 30 minutes. If you go back to the animated series back in the day, they hit that time slot. The stories were quick and fast and big, because they're animated, they're just way bigger stories than you could with real life style shooting Star Trek. They fit them into the 30-minute segment. It was pretty cool. I don't remember any two-parters from animated series. So if I had to say anything bad about Prodigy, it's they're totally missing a lot of the fit it all within the one episode thing, but they're phenomenal episodes.
They really were.
Much like my patient, it finished too early.
Oh yeah, he kind of does. He gets excited and squeals. So,
and how would you know that, Captain?
I've heard him outside of his room.
Oh, okay.
So, but it's definitely what you said. Something happened to your Protostar.
You're the Protostar holder.
Oh, please. You know you like making your brown eye blue. Okay, so
I am not Crystal Gayle.
So, but kids, if you're old enough, just Google Crystal Gayle.
Wait, okay, who's Crystal Gayle?
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Heather needs to Google Crystal Gayle. Goth Janeway reminded me so much of somebody I saw at the last Nine Inch Nails concert that I went to.
But why, when they decide to make somebody evil or to make them disturbing, they put a fun of pancake makeup on them and give them black eyeliner and go, see, they're evil now.
That's just a stereotype. I mean, goth people aren't evil.
They're not. I was goth in high school and there was nothing evil about me, but I was total goth.
No, goth girls are the best. So there's that. But
now,
they're not if you're a gay goth boy.
Oh, yeah.
Well, gay, that's a whole nother issue.
Yeah. I loved seeing Goth Janeway. As a big fan of Janeway, just seeing that, it kind of took me back to Living Witness, the episode where they had the historical record about Voyager and Janeway was portrayed
when she was super evil. I just saw that one. Oh, yeah, I just saw it. It was crazy because they were she was, that was like, am I watching a mirror episode of Voyager that I don't remember?
That's what
realize it was just like that.
Like their version of Mirror Universe, and
it was
pretty there
cool
for that, and I'm here for Goth Janeway.
That's what I'm looking forward to, because they never did a Mirror Universe episode of Voyager. So that's what I'm looking forward to see how she's going to cosplay that in the game in Star Trek Online.
Ooh.
But it's going to be interesting.
Do you guys realize that this similar programming has been experienced before in 2 previous episodes where we see something like this happen? The first one was with the Doctor and Captain Rudolph Ransom. He deleted his whole ethical subroutines and everything in order to make him perform that horrible procedure on 7 and 9. I think that was Voyager Equinox Part 2. And then it also happened to Data with his ethical subroutines when they were shut off by lore, and that was on Next Generation Descent.
These are very scary episodes. When artificial intelligence loses its ethical subroutines, it's very, very frightening. I remember the one in Voyager's Doctor where he's schizophrenic, so he seems like he's normal, then he goes off and does something seriously evil and painful, and that was vicious stuff too. And then he does stuff to 7, and the one with Data, he's talking to Geordi just like Data would, except at the same time he's trying to do an operation on him, and it's fucking scary as all hell.
Oh yeah, I remember
the
that.
Proctology EMH does things that are painful too.
Yeah.
I could imagine. I don't need that image.
The ethical programs are installed though, correctly? Yes.
I told you I ran out of lube. It was not my fault.
But
it's a stocking problem.
You say
stocking problem. Yeah.
It's bobbed for your pleasure.
Oh, jeez.
But it really, that makes you a callback a little bit to Discovery. I wonder if you could delete the ethical routines in Zora.
Yeah, see, it's an artificial thing that can be tampered with. That's a frightening aspect to it. You've got to watch out for those ethical subroutines. They need have a little green light on or sometime that turns red, I
wonder if that's going to be a future episode where somebody goes in there and screws with her and she turns goth. Zora, goth.
That would would it be pretty easy? Zora, goth, and she turns goth and beams everybody out of the starship
and starts listening to The Cure.
All done. So, but it was a good episode. How it ended was really quick. I love the fact that Dal, hey, sex is a sport. If I come first, I won. You just got to get better at it. So it's really kind of cool that he's finally turning into the person he should. You saw inklings of it throughout the season where he's got the ability to be a captain if he gets rid of his selfishness and realize that they're a crew. And this one was the epitome of that. This was the culmination of all of it.
Right at the end of this episode, my note was listen to Dal Command, because it's at his peak of command performance right there. That was excellent captaining skills right at the end.
It really was.
I was like, wait, maybe that Dal guy's not so bad.
And the fact that he had the Kobayashi Maru where he refused to give up till he found a solution. Yeah, that's what I just said. So it's really kind of cool to see him, so he must have Kobayashi Maru the hell out of that plan that did.
Yeah.
And they had one hell of a plan that they were acting in. I mean, that was pretty sophisticated.
Elaborate. Janeway helped them with that.
Yeah, well, no doubt.
I wonder how much she did, though, because it was pretty elaborate.
Yeah, it was.
I wonder if Janeway, when they did their little, what do you call it? I hate brain farts because I'm turning old.
Please, I'm still 20 years older than you, so stop.
Something
That's
about
okay.
Janeway.
Don't worry about it. I have an off switch on my ass. I'll sit down.
Do you,
and
though?
I remember.
You should use it sometime.
Yeah, it's just. I also just discovered why if you've ever get up and go into a room and you don't remember why you went in there.
I've done that too many times.
I figured out why that happens. And I'm going to tell you, and I found out by accident. The reason why you forget, because when you get up and go in your kitchen or in a room, there's an alien in there and the men in black come in and neuralize you. And then you go and sit down and you're like, what was I doing? So obviously I have a lot of aliens.
Did Section 31 get that freaking pen?
Yeah, so they neuralize you.
Oh, bastard.
One of those ones from Doctor Who, when you look at them, the minute you turn away, they're not there anymore.
Oh, yeah, the silence.
The silence.
Yeah. Crossing streams.
Well, yeah, that's true. Just a question for the audience out there. What do you think would happen if the silence ever met the weeping angel? Discuss amongst yourselves. Discuss amongst yourselves. So we're going to go around the room, around the circuits, around the communications, and find out what everybody thought of the show. So Heather, what would you give it?
I don't know if I want to give it a rating because we were halfway through. Yeah,
oh, okay.
It feels very weird to give it a rating when we're like, it literally cut in half, and like I feel like I want to see the rest of the episode before I rate it.
That's a good point. So let me say this then, thumbs up or down, so it's not a rating.
Oh, okay. There we go. Thumbs up. I like it so far, and I'm looking forward to seeing where it's going to go.
And how about you, EMH, when you're not in Patrick? What would you give it? Thumbs up or down?
I gave it one thumb in.
Oh, my God. Why aren't you this funny, Patrick? Why? How the hell you get all this humor in this guy, but you have like none? I don't get it.
Bitch, you know I'm funny, so shut the fuck up.
Oh, God, dog it. And so what would you give it, a thumbs up or in? Or down, or thumbs down, or in? Whatever. What would you do with your
when
thumb?
he puts his thumbs?
It was the episode it just went too fast, just like you, so I'm going to give it a thumbs out.
Oh, my God. And a question, so EMH, when you put that thumbs in, when you pull it out, does it pop like a cherry thing?
It does. It does.
Cool.
It's like the little boy who stuck his finger in a dike.
It's so funny. Okay, and Chief, what would you give it?
Oh my God, we've had a thumb out, and we've had a thumb in. I don't want anything to do with the thumbs. I was gonna give it a on the Jesus Christ. Oh. And that is Patrick's microphone. I can see, so he is getting funny now. I would give it a 5 because we were going to go 1 through 10, and so far it's only halfway there, but it's a 5. So that's where I'm at.
Okay, then I would give it.
I think on a scale of 9, you could give it a 7.
Yeah. Okay.
A 7 of 9.
Mm-hmm. I would give it a thumb swirly. So that works. I will definitely give it.
Is that reminiscent of when your head was in the toilet in junior high? A swirly?
No, they never gave me a swirly. So
is that your memory, Patrick?
That sounds like yours? A repressed memory that you don't want to share.
Seriously.
No,
now, I did,
swirly.
The only thing that ever happened to me in the restaurant once, there was this guy that we used to fight all the time. He was like 3 times my size. The guy was really big. And so I jumped on his back like a spider monkey to basically kind of hit him. And
so
he did something totally unexpected. He jumped up in the air and came down on his back.
Oh,
and my head cracked on the tile down there, and the gush of blood that came out the back of my head scared the shit out of him, and he ran out. So I still have the knot back there that he did that. I still have the knot back there.
I'm going to leave that one alone.
So, yeah, I've never heard you say that before.
Not a balloon knot.
So this was a really good episode, and I really have to put my hats off to you, Patrick. You did an amazing job with this, EMH. Funnier than you, more personality than you. It's just completely. And so he's the EMH is a type of friend, I think, that would go out, get 2 blowjobs, and bring home 1. So that's really awesome.
I'm telling you that there's that story about the Borg Twins.
So we're going to find out more.
Yep.
So who knows?
Their designations were 6 of one and half a dozen of the other.
Make sure you bring a copy of that code back to the ship. We'll have to look into integrating it from time to time. thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. Do we have a title for next week or no?
We do.
It should be part 2.
It's a Moral Star Part 2.
That's pretty good.
How creative.
I know. Really deep thoughts on that, like Jack Handy. You ever, Jack, one of the things he ever said, and I know I'm going on a tangent here, but he talked about his kid asked him, why is it raining outside? And he said, well, it's raining because God is crying. And he says, well, why is God crying? And he looked at his son. He says, probably because of something you did. It is, that was so fucked up. Okay. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. Make sure you follow us on all our social media. Chief will give you all the details after the show here where you can find and locate us. I'm assuming you already located us once or you wouldn't be listening to us. So thank you. Make sure you're safe out there. Patrick, put on some warm underwear, not the one with the slit from behind. Heather.
Don't put them on backwards.
Captain, it could be their first time. We don't want to shame first timers.
That's true. So if this is your first time, welcome. Thank you for listening to us. And yes, this is a sample. If you go back and listen to the other shows, it's more of the same. So just be prepared.
We tried to, put on a face that will be gentle, but we're not gentle.
No, just think of us as all goth Starfleet.
This is like a grudge fuck after a marital fight.
Oh,
some of us like it rough. I'm just saying.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, we don't even ask if you're ready. We just shove it right in there. So no, that's us. So thank you for listening. What the fuck was that?
Oh, jeez.
Well, you said we don't even ask to shove it in, and you shoved it in. I said, "Can I touch it?"
Oh, okay. Heather, I need to come to your cabin because that big toe, whatever it was, it spread to my other toes. It looks like Fred Flintstone feet now.
We're going to have to take care of that, Captain. We're going to have to see the doctor. We're going to have to see the EMH. We're going to need multiple.
You're just going to get your toe juiced.
Your toes off.
Yeah, and I should have told you this before. We probably should have done it in the first 10 minutes.
Yeah, this is not good because this is going to be the first time in Starfleet history, which I think my toes are going to have to be milked. So it's
It
not
wouldn't be
pretty.
the first time I've drained one of those things. It's fine.
So Patrick's going to come back to the ship and he's going, this pipe is clean. All of you that are out there, especially our Patreon people and everything like that, thank you for supporting the show. It's really appreciated. We may be holding a contest later. So if you're on Patreon, be prepared for the announcement. And we'll give you non-Patreon people who are like cheap and chintzy to get a chance to join in the fun as well, provided that you join. Our lowest tier is $1, which we appreciate it.
Don't cheap shame the cheap people.
Well, that's true. The world needs them because they have money to do fun things like charities and everything else. And there's that. So thank you, everybody, for listening to us. Make sure that you just don't have a great week, but make it so.
And if you can, support the show by going to patreon.com/Starfleet Underground. Lots of perks to choose from, and you might even like some of them. Starfleet Underground, beaming into a podcast feed near you. Log on to our website at starfleetunderground.com and send your comments and questions to thecollective@starfleetunderground.com. Follow us on Twitter @StarfleetUnderG and on Facebook and Instagram, we're Starfleet Underground.